Okay, it's the Standalone Joe Show. Well, first off, the Blue Cat Club. I'm not going to show you the bottom part of it, but see if you put in the comments if you know where that's from. First question for today was, do you like Scotch? There are certain kinds of Scotch that I'll drink. I've never developed a taste for Scotch in general, especially with me. If it's very peaty, I just can't drink it. I haven't acquired a taste for it. Don't know as I ever really will. And bourbon and Scotch are a lot different, and I don't know. It's one of those, if you're gonna really get into one or the other, you tend to leave the other one alone. So I went with bourbon and not with Scotch. Scotch can get really expensive too. I mean, all their nicer high-end bottles that I see around here are all into the hundreds of dollars, the over $100.
Bourbon is much more economical.
Yeah, it's a lot more economical, man. I can get, well, I mean, there's some Scotches that are pretty cheap too, but yeah, I mean, she doesn't know what I paid for some bottles. And she never will. Next question. Have you tried Canadian bourbon or whiskey? I've had a few Canadian whiskeys. I don't dislike them. I just don't have the time to put them into my wheelhouse of what I'm going to try. A good friend of mine, he likes all the Crown Royals, and the Crown Royals are pretty good if you're into flavored whiskeys. I did a little bit of flavored bourbons and whiskeys early on, but got to where I just wanted to understand and learn the profile of bourbon, and that includes 80 proofs up to 129 proof. And so there's a lot of different complexities that go into that. So I've had like peach crown, apple crown. They've got a barley crown. I think I found for him up here one time. I just got him, I don't know if it was a wheated one or maybe it was the barley one. I don't know, but I had an opportunity to get him a golden apple at a bourbon. There was a raffle to purchase bottles at one of our liquor stores, and they had a bottle of golden apple crown, which is highly sought after. Was probably actually retail the most expensive thing they had, but I instead chose to take the Blood Oath bourbon, Blood Oath number 9, and it's fabulous. It's fabulous. And then my son-in-law that went with me, one of his numbers got pulled number 2, and they had 2 bottles of Blood Oath, and that's all I could think about. And I'm like, get the Blood Oath. So, because that was the most sought after of what they had. So that's what we ended up getting. But Ryan would have loved if I'd have got that golden apple. He would have gladly purchased that off of me. But maybe next time. Next question, strategy for diluting bourbon. The other part of the question is, or do you like it neat? I like it neat all day long. The problems that I've had it on ice. The problem is you can't really control the bourbon if it's on ice. If I have it on ice in an outdoor bar down in Orlando, Florida, that ice melts so fast that it changes the complexity of it. A little bit, my brother is actually big into bourbon as well. And he's a firm believer in just a couple of drops of water in his bourbon to just cut that alcohol just a little bit in the beginning. And I've done that a few times, and it does actually change the flavor just slightly. But I don't drink enough of it in a row at any given time to really use that philosophy either. So no ice, neat. That's the only way I do it. I think that's what bourbon was intended for, my opinion. Do you like any bourbons that you thought you wouldn't like? Excuse me. I thought the answer to that was no, but I just thought of something. It goes back to my brother-in-law, Rich. One time he brought some of the benchmark bourbons down, and we had kind of a dirty bourbon night where I think we had four different bottles, and not one of them was over like $23. You don't think it's gonna taste that great, but there was a couple of them that were decent. They weren't ultra high end bourbons. They, of course, you could taste that they were new. They probably, bourbon's got to be 2 years old. They were probably 2 years and a month, maybe 2 years and 6 months at the most, and they're pulled right out of that bottle. Colors were lighter and stuff like that, but the tastes on a couple of them were pretty good. So yeah, the benchmark line, and Rich is in the comments, maybe he might read them. I think it comes out of Buffalo Trace as well. Sazerac is the bottler of that. So yeah. So there was a couple there that I was surprised at. I can't remember which ones they were. I think we had 4 of them. So that's the questions I have for today. She'll tag it on and away we'll go. All right. As always, peace.